I salute you all, comrades, friends, and colleagues, for organizing this great event to commemorate the 60th anniversary of one of the most historical events in the history of Africa, the All Africa Peoples Conference, which was held in 1958. Comrades and friends, I hug you all, each one of you, in solidarity, in the name of global Pan-Africanism. I join hands with you in the struggle of the people of Africa to liberate themselves from the clutches of imperialism and the chains of exploitation. Kwame Nkrumah's greatest contribution to the cause of Pan-Africanism was to organize the All Africa Peoples Conference. As we all know, between 1958 and 1964, Nkrumah organized two series of conferences. In April 1958, he organized the Conference of Independent African States. At that time, there were only 8 independent African states. In the same year, he organized All Africa Peoples Conference, which was attended by delegates from national political organizations and trade unions. Each year, these conferences continued. The Conference of African States eventually resulted in the formation of OAU, Organization of African Unity. And with OAU, the All Africa Peoples Conferences were discontinued. Thus, states took over and people went under. We saw the beginning of statist Pan-Africanism. Today, as we celebrate 60 years, we should consciously pick up the thread which was broken in 1963, the thread of All Africa Peoples Conference. Africa is one continent where the Pan-African sentiment is very strong. There is our identity of being Africans. The first generation African nationalists were all Pan-Africanists. In our case, it is Pan-Africanism which gave birth to African nationalism, not the other way around. But as African states became entrenched, Western interests who are interested in the state discontinued Pan-Africanism and drained it of its content. Territorial nationalism took over and Pan-Africanism was relegated to the archives. Today we need Pan-Africanism more than ever before. Celebrating 40 years of Ghana's independence, Mwalimu Nyerere said something to the effect that we either scale the summit of Pan-Africanism or sink into the dark gullies of tribalism and parochialism. Allow me, comrades and friends, to sum up Mwalimu Nyerere's profound stand on Pan-Africanism. If he were to do so, I guess he would say something like this: African territorial nationalism is tribalism on the global scale. We must recharge Pan-Africanism. We must develop new Pan-Africanism. and we need it more than ever before in this age of narrow nationalisms and reactionary parochialism. The new African Pan-Africanism must be political and liberatory, not economistic and developmentalist. The new Pan-Africanism must be consistently anti-imperialist and pro-people. It must show solidarity with all oppressed people of the world and condemn in no uncertain terms all forms of discrimination and new forms of apartheid like state Zionism and religious fundamentalisms. The moving force of new Pan-Africanism must be the working people of Africa and the working people of the diaspora. The new Pan-Africanism should be against all hegemons, global and regional. The new Pan-Africanism must find its organizational form in people's movements. Pan-Africanism is where the African masses are, comrades and friends. A spectre is haunting Africa, the spectre of Pan-Africanism. We Africans have been exploited a great deal, humiliated a great deal, disregarded a great deal. Now we want to make a revolution, a Pan-Africanist revolution, so that we are never again exploited, humiliated, and disregarded. People of Africa, unite. You have nothing to lose but your treasury and your whole continent to gain.